to Marantz Rantz, no advice on finance. Spin the wheel and take a chance. Get an NFT and a little education. The system got undertow, that knowledge is flotation. You wanna learn? Well, you came to right place. You're pumping AMC, might get slapped in the face. Get your due diligence, know who the villain is. Don't be a sheep when the shepherd's carnivorous. So come learn, laugh, and maybe you win big. And listen up, y'all, the wheel is not rigged. Everybody get a chance in the live chat. Kyoto spin wheel, you win just like that. Retail fight back and this retail winning. Y'all just wait, man, this is just the beginning. All fellow simians, GME group singing the truth. We just chillin', infinity pool swimming. So welcome to Marantz Rantz. A lot of knowledge but no advice on finance. Don't even need pants, you can tune in naked like Henny the Mayo Man. Internet's most hated. Don't wanna lose your money, then it's time for you to listen. If you're ignorant, invest in AMC, a superstition. The stream about ready, they told us to don't dance. I do what I want. Welcome to Marantz Rantz. 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 Welcome to Marantz Rantz.
Hey there. Welcome back to the GameStop Hour. This is Marantz Rantz, not Brock Bowers. Real quick, guys, I need a little bit of motivation before we actually get this show started. I was reading something. I'm reading the Discord right now. So while I read that, just want to remind everyone, you got to have a little bit of grace with me. Grace and another word with grace. You got it. You got it, George Michaels. You know, that's my boy, bro. Me and George, we go way back. 4 flats in a Cadillac. My man. Welcome back. Welcome back to Marantz Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I'm big on George Michaels, guys. You guys know that I'm a UK fan. Like, so all the music, all the people, everybody, I'm UK. I'm going for UK in the damn World Cup. I don't care. And I used to be Canadian. You guys don't know. I used to be Canada, bros. It was big for me. Justin Bieber, Carly Rae Jepsen. You guys know who she is. Don't play with me. Everybody knows who Carly Canada. Shout out to Drake. My God, guys. Who doesn't? I mean, these are all the songs I grew up on. I had to. I didn't grow up until like a decade and a half ago. Before that, in my 20s, I was the biggest kid of them all. I play video games all day. Wait. So I still do. Shout out to Canada. Thank you for the maple syrup. You're absolutely correct. Hit it dead on the head there. Listen, Canada's winning. Canada's winning in life. Not only do they suck at soccer, they suck at hockey. They suck at investing. What else is new? But hey, I'm here for you. Is Corey the grifter in the chat? I don't know. We got here Marantz. Can we call the military on that one idiot that asked to show my position? He's been in the Discord since 2024. It's ridiculous. Spadigan, I'm happy you talked about it. I'm happy you brought it up. I'm happy you did it before I did. It's going to be part of the show in a little bit. We're going to talk about the good stuff first. Then we'll go into the lore of our Discord and this show, Team 51. Oh, you know what? Bullshit. Let me tell you something, you kids out there that write me in the comments. Marantz, I can't believe I got to sit through 2 hours of music and intros and voices and drama just to get a good GameStop take out of you. I said, bitch, you don't know the show. I could sit here. We could be boring as fuck. Here's what you missed when you read the earnings and you heard GameStop. Here's what you missed. Jeremy, I must have missed the whole damn thing, bro. Every video of yours is, here's what you're missing. I'm not missing shit. Here's what you're missing. A position worth showing. Oh, no, I got $400 at GameStop this month. Oh, bro, get out of here, man. I hate these guys. This is what we're talking about. Spadigan, you and I, we're having this good conversation with the crew. Everybody, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to open up the Discord right now. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, if you're looking at the screen, it's a good time to look at the screen. So here is our Discord. And in our Discord, I pray I didn't delete it. I didn't delete it. Here he is. This guy named Elevy Platinum. Okay. Now listen to me. This is an idea that came from someone like Platinum and Noisy Correx. They had a show they did where they had their 6 viewers watching, and they made a whole show, and they clipped me out of context. And they said, because I had got asked this question. I was asked, would you buy eBay right now over GameStop? And then the first thing they said was, Marantz is stupid because Marantz said he would do whatever Ryan's doing. He's going to follow suit. He's down for Ryan no matter what. And then in the same sentence, I'm not buying eBay. I'm buying GameStop. And they're like, oh, so much for following Ryan. That's not what's happening here. I just want to explain it to the common folk. The common folk being the meltdown and everyone else who's stupid. All you guys. You guys are completely ignorant when it comes to this investment. So this guy here wants to go out here and he typed in, who else owns both? That's what he typed. And then he put out there, I have eBay, and you can go ahead and look at it. What he's up. He's up a fraction of a percent in this whole investment, okay? To be up a fraction of a percent in this whole investment means he bought in at 115. Then he says, I'm good for 125. And you're looking at it, you're like, what are you talking about? You're buying eBay at the top? And then you came in with $40,000? Okay. Yet you have GameStop and it's down. Think about this. You have GameStop and it's down for you. Overall, it's down. And it's at 2172. So let me get this right. You have 1,100 shares of GameStop for 24 grand. But you thought it'd be a great idea to go dump in on eBay at all-time highs rather than buying GameStop at all-time lows. Are we clear? Then he says, it's okay. I still have 22,000 to put in. And I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting to put that in on GameStop. Bro, this is where you lose me. This is where I turn another cheek and I just go crazy because it's things like this. When people start talking out of both sides of their mouth, they're buying eBay. Why would you buy eBay? Do we own eBay? We don't own eBay, right? Yeah, we have the shares authorized to go ahead and expand. Yes, we own eBay. GameStop does. But we're not in control of eBay just yet. And somewhere in there, there's a deal to be made. But there's more upside to GameStop than there would ever be to eBay. What's your point of buying eBay right now at 115? You, personally. I'm buying GameStop. I'm getting eBay for discount and a half. With the money they're paying us. That's the dumbest thing ever. But you got to remember, when they infiltrate the chat and they say shit like this, that guy had been sitting in our Discord for 2 years and never made a comment. 2 years lurking in the Discord and never made a comment, and then came out with this and then proceeded to talk more. Well, I don't understand. Well, where's your position? Where's your proof? Where's this? It was crazy. It was like, I was like, is this what these guys are doing? This whole I own both stocks, is that what we're back to? I own both. That used to stand for GameStop and SNDL. GameStop and AMC. GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond. GameStop and HYMC. I own both. I've had to deal with this my whole damn time being on YouTube with this shit, but more so me being invested, everyone claiming they own. But now it's GameStop and eBay? Really? No, you own GameStop. That's it. One thing. Or you should. But if you don't, that's your prerogative. Get up out of here. I don't want to be around you. This is the cult. This is the one arena for one stock and one stock only. If you do not believe in that, then you don't believe in what I'm saying and what I'm doing and what Ryan's doing. Well, Ryan owns more than one stock, Marantz. Yeah, before GameStop. Before. And after, well, what do you think? Billions, right here where you're at. If not trillions. I also want to make an official announcement, guys, to the public, and I'm going to say this out loud so you guys hear it from my mouth to the microphone. I've contacted my financial advisors. I've contacted all of the upper echelon of my world, and I will be selling GameStop. I will be selling my position, a portion of my position. I will be selling some shares to the tune of 20 shares a month is what I will be selling, unwinding my position when we officially hit $180 a share. I will be selling 20 shares a month. By my math, I will be in GameStop for the next 20 years. I'm just letting you know now, I have 2,550 shares. I'll be in the stock for the next 20 plus years. When will I start selling? When it hits 180, and I will only sell 10 to 20 a month. Meaning, you won't know, you won't see it, you won't understand my math or my logic. But that's what I'll be doing. By the way, mind you, I will still be buying when it's time to sell. But that's only when it gets to 180. So, low-hanging fruit, Marantz, you're lowballing the number. It's much bigger than that. I know it is. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to stretch it out for the next, because there's a certain tax implications that I'm doing. So don't worry about my math. But as I go through it, I'll be here for 25 years on YouTube. Hi. It's going to be fun. There, are we good? Are we locked in? I thought so. Marantz made an announcement. He's going to sell his shares. I'll take that out of context next too. It's cool. You know who else sold their shares? Just so that we're clear. This guy sold his shares right here. His name, I don't know how to say his name, but he's the CEO of Sony Group, a.k.a. the PlayStation. He sold 56.5% of his shares. Oh, what a story. Oh, my God. Shut up. It's not a story. Dude sold for like $4 million. The market cap of Sony is $120 billion. Doesn't matter. He could sell all his stock. He wouldn't care. Nobody cares. I want to show you a post that I have here from my man Jay. Jay, right here. This is fun. This is where the show gets fun, okay? Now, you guys, for those of you out there that want to talk GameStop and talk about the possibilities of what's happening with eBay and GameStop, this is where I'm going to brainstorm a theory to you. Am I going to be correct? I don't know. I'd like to think that people would understand GameStop's proposal and what it means. So let's talk about the half stock, half cash deal that GameStop offered for eBay. And they did it at a price point, which is awesome. But how would you increase GameStop's market cap and value, intrinsic value, over this next year of telling eBay, or I'd even tell you this next 3 months, and there's a reason why I tell you that. But this is what's being said here. It says, okay, let me simplify something even further for GameStop. Before it was allowed to distribute up to 1 billion shares. They had a total of outstanding float of 690 million. I don't know where this guy gets 869. It's 690 with the warrants and the bonds, but I'm okay with the 9. This guy could say whatever he wanted. It doesn't matter. He says, so the remaining firepower on paper as it relates to the underwriting would be 131 million shares by $22 today's stock price, meaning $288 billion, $2.8 billion. So that's how much more market cap they could get out of it and or cash for the shares they could have offered. But after the compensation package was deleted and after that the Proposition 4 was passed, or 5, whatever it was, or the 4 was passed, the new firepower on paper is 1.8 million more shares in addition to $22 a piece, or 1.8 billion shares, I apologize, at $22 a piece for $39.3 billion. Now it says that's a $36 billion jump for GameStop's arsenal on paper and otherwise. That changes things for the underwriters. This changes things, share weighting overall for equity roll-in equation and an acquisition that they're going to do. This changes everything, just like the EBITDA forward guidance changed the equation significantly. Okay, now somebody in here on a meltdown page had an answer for this guy, okay, off of Superstock. John Boy comes out here, and now John Boy comes out here and tries to prove this idea wrong. And yes, the first guy factually stated something that is not correct. It is not firepower. It is not anything. Those shares are worthless at $2.5 billion, and this is what he says. Authorized shares times the current stock price equals firepower is not a real financial concept. This is a load-bearing error, and it's conceptual, not You know all the big words. It's fine. What you get down to the numbers here, it's going to tell you here. And I don't care to read all this. What it's going to tell you is this at the very bottom. So this changes everything at $36.4 billion jump in arsenal. It's multiplying a permission by a price and only holds if you do not use the permission. The number is an illustration or an illusion created by the formula itself. And what that means is this: you cannot sell 1.6 billion shares, new shares to the market at a pre-issuance price. The firepower number treats authorization shares as if each one were to be held up to the $22. And that's not true, right? It never does. The moment you issue as much stock, you've diluted the share price, so massively the price collapses. You cannot get that value out of it. A company with a $9.8 billion market cap does not have $39.3 billion of arsenal sitting in a charter. If that were true, every company would authorize 1 trillion shares and would be infinitely rich. Okay. So do you understand what's being said here? If you don't, let me explain it a different way so you guys get where they're coming from. So one guy's stating because GameStop has 2.5 billion shares, automatically that makes them worth $22 a piece. This is their new market cap. But that is not true. We know that. But in GameStop's case, it is. And I'll explain. GameStop used to have 304 million shares after they did a stock split. They did a stock split, a dividend stock split, 3-1. It became 4-1. So what happens at that point, 304 million shares, they then did ATMs, at the market offerings. They did an at the market offering for shares and raised cash. Now everyone in this world here said, well, they're diluting the shareholders. That's not what they're doing. Because as they were raising cash by selling shares, that cash was not burned. There was zero cash burn. They took the cash and put it on the sheet. All they did was increase their market cap and or their assets, their cash on hand. You should give valuation for that. The world told you no. Right here, social media told you no. Analysts told you no. What did they say? Until you deploy that capital, it's worth nothing. There's no return on your investment. 4% is nothing because that's the standard rate on interest right now on a high-yield savings loan. Got you, 100%. So 4% increases are nothing to write home about. We could all do that. We could do better if we would have marked it in this and that and that. You hear all that talk, right? Okay, cool. So it actually is better because we didn't have to burn the cash. We didn't have to use the cash because we're a profitable company. That was the point. As we raised $5 billion cash, we then found investors to give us money, $4.5 billion, with a bond offering. We offered a bond. The bond we offered, just so that we're clear, it's going to give you 33 shares for every $1,000 you give us. So you have a rights offer. You have a permission to write and get shares for every 1,000 you give us. And what was the total? The total ended up being an additional $4.5 billion is what they gave us. That's how you get someone to invest into your company. We sold the rights offering immediately, the bonds themselves. So by doing it this way, we got $9 billion. A lot of you guys know this. So to have $9.5 billion, $9 billion of cash, it increases your worth and your value and your valuation because you didn't deploy the cash, because you didn't burn the cash. You're not losing money. That's when other companies do ATMs and they get all this cash and then they go service their debt and they go pay some interest payments and they're just selling it off and diluting the shares. They're diluting the product and they're selling it off. This case, we didn't dilute anything. We kept the cash in-house. We stacked it high. We didn't watch it fly. We watch it increase with interest rates. That's fine. That's awesome, okay? It's $10 billion. That's what we have right now. All right, here's the trick. Now we're deploying cash, and we're getting a multiple for it. We're buying eBay, and we're plus. We're plus over $1 billion already. That's why our profit right now is $1 billion in this company for the year. The one little part that everyone's missing is GameStop gave eBay a highly confident letter that they had investors and that they could raise up to $20 billion. eBay said it's not credible and it's not attractive. Got you. Do you know who it's credible and attractive to? TD Securities and GameStop. And right now, GameStop just loaded the coffers with 2.5 billion shares. And they're telling you they have someone that's willing to invest money with them, $20 billion. They can't come over and just give you the cash. They got to give you something for it. Great. Let's give you the shares and let you give us the money. Now we can buy whatever the hell we want. Because last I checked, cash is cash, right? We get to roll in our equity with yours, and it's not a dilutive thing because we're buying something. It's almost like you not understanding your own brokerage accounts out there. But how do you explain it to your family that you bought GameStop shares? Is that an expense? Every share of GameStop you buy, is that an expense? No, it's an investment. The money's still there. You still have the net worth. You're still worth something. You haven't sold a share. So you're worth something. We haven't sold a share. We gave people a way in. We gave them ownership. Great. They gave us money for it. Now we're sitting on this cash, and this cash is making us money on how we deploy it. So the value of the company is still there. Oh, your percentage of ownership will go down. I get that. But we're not diluting shares just to dilute. It's not at the market as in, hey, we're going to put it out there and see what we can do if we can raise some money here. For what? We're about to go buy something bigger than us, right? Worth more than us. My conclusion, guys, so that both of those guys can have it right, is we raise authorization levels of these shares so that we could go unlock that $20 billion that's sitting there that wants to invest with us. They couldn't do it with us. They couldn't buy our company and our shares because they're not available. The world knows they're not available. No one's willing to do the deal. No one's willing to open up these coffers of ours and put shares out to the public unless they buy them through GameStop. And the only way they were going to do that was if GameStop opened up the coffers to these underwriters, to TD Securities, to whomever. It doesn't matter. Now we've unlocked this key. It's not about buying eBay solely. It's about people buying GameStop. We're going to open up these coffers to the $20 billion that's sitting there waiting to invest with us. Do you think people don't want GameStop? They want it. And they want it, yeah, $20. I get it. But let you buy a percentage of this company. You know why GameStop and Ryan Cohen has to put $500 million into the play? So that he can keep pace with what they're doing. Listen to me clearly. You want to keep pace with what they're doing? Okay, how much GameStop does Ryan own? How many shares? 40 million? How many could you buy with $500 million? At $20. Call it whatever you want. You're going to come in and you're going to buy 25 million shares? You're going to keep pace with the 2.5 billion? You're going to keep your percentage of ownership increasing as we allegedly dilute the stock. But this is how you buy eBay. You invest money into GameStop. That's how you buy eBay. Because we're going to walk over and we're going to take it from them. Now, there's this new thing that's happening. I don't know if you guys are aware of the lawsuit against GameStop and Ryan. So there's this lawsuit going on against the board of directors from GameStop. They're saying it's a failure for fiduciary duty and GameStop's, this whole compensation package and all this stuff. And so they're having this little debate in court. And both sides agreed to an extension on the hearing. I don't know if you guys read this today, but they extended the hearing till October of this year. Anybody know why? Because maybe the investors are going to hear some good news from now to October. Maybe that earnings report that comes out in September is going to be mighty fine. Maybe fiduciary duty is being covered. Maybe they are doing the right thing for you investors. It's just unspoken. We don't have to publish it. We don't have to get it through discovery. We don't have to say it out loud. Just give us a little moment here. Give us some grace and have a little faith. Yeah. This is our moment. It hasn't left us. It's not gone. When people start talking in matter of facts or uncertainties, realize that they don't know this investment as well as you do. There's not a single person other than the Meltdown and us that are highly informed on GameStop. And the only reason they're informed, the Meltdown, that whole little subreddit, is because of us. I'm their number one show. I'm the number one YouTuber for The Meltdown. I'm the number one YouTuber for GameStop, and I have been for over 5 years. So, yes, they need somewhere to congregate. They need somewhere to vegetate. They need somewhere to master their skills and watch the show. I understand why they watch. And thank you for the love and support of the show, Meltdown. But you know just like I do what this is and what this is about to be. GameStop is getting ahead of everybody. And they're about to actually, I mean, they already are, but it's about to be witnessed and realized. We just need a little more time. Well, I'm giving you all the time in the world. You got my lifetime and the next, if that's fair. Wow, love and support of the show. I didn't even realize Ruben was here. Ruben, thank you, Ruben, for the support of the show, Ruben. Ruben came in with 20 free memberships for the show. Thank you, sir. Let's see if we caught anybody with their pants down. Anybody that we might know. Tony Burns Reefer. There's a name we don't need to know. Andrew Laurie, thank you. All right. Envoy gave out one for Danny. Thank you. And one right there for the Corgi. All right. Is GameStop Corey really your son, or is that just a rumor? Gorgeous George. Are you a dumbass, or is that confirmed? That's confirmed. We'll never see you again. Thank you for the show. That was worth the one comment, right? Cool. First off, my children are beautiful. That man is ugly. But that man's a GameStop investor, so he's infinitely more attractive than you. Do you think DRSing shares made a difference in not making shares available for the shorts over the last 4 years? I don't care, and I don't think about it. Roaring titties. I don't care one bit about that stuff. They gave Ryan $4 billion at 0%. That's how bad they want it. Even insurance companies are making ETF GameStop's underwriting. We're the best. We the people buy GameStop. Period. I mean, listen, you're not part of the crew. Whoever that was that just typed that nonsense, and anyone else out there, you got to understand, we are an absolute cult here, and it has a lot to do with the fact that we just started out as. And I'll turn that off now. Thank you guys so much. They'll find me later. YouTube will come find me later. Hey, bro, were you the one playing Houdini in the background? I'm like, that was me, bro. Just doing my best right here, looking at the chart, guys. We're going to look at all time frames here. First, we're going to look at the monthly. I'm going to bring up some of the timelines and some of the indicators we have. First one's going to be MA. We're also going to look at MACD, RSI. You know, the RSI, that's a movement indicator. And this is going to be on the monthly, right? I'm looking at the monthly. So RSI is low. You know, GameStop has one of these things about the RSI that GameStop broke the record. I don't know if you guys knew about this. They actually ended a trading day at 97 on an RSI, meaning it held the strength of the whole index itself. So it was on the buy side, but it was going to where they couldn't even slow it down. The only way you can slow it down is if you cut off the whole market. But we are sitting at a sweet spot at 47 on the RSI. Remember, anything above 30 is okay. Oversold, overbought territory within that 30 and 70 range. On the MACD itself, crossing back over to the green would be ideal right about now. We're almost there. We're almost out of the woods here. I built this a while back on these Doritos. This is a massive Dorito. This is a 6-year pennant, is what you're looking at on GameStop, coming to a breakout session, if not this month, not the next month, not the next month, but the final month would be October is the final month of the Dorito. So we'll see how it all works out from now until then. Everything's telling us that it's headed that way. When I look at the weekly, got a little stronger on the weekly. I can stretch this out. We'll look at it in a minute. So right here on the weekly, you will like that the RSI is still down. Everything's down. MACD will cross back over green, so we still have time to break out. Weekly's fine. When you look at the daily chart just testing all-time lows. And I think at the time, what I've loved the most about this is that we have still trended up and to the right. Even if we were going from the 1993 that we were, shout out to the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl that year in 93. If we go here on this trend line, even at the low here, it's still technically going up. We're still going up and to the right. It's not as visual or visible as you would like, but as we stretch out the amounts, that's the trend for the higher lows. And then you have the opposite, if you were to go to the top side on the lower highs. What that means when you have higher lows and lower highs, that means you have consolidation. You have this bottom trend line, as you're going to treat it as support. We've quadruple bottomed. We hit 1, 2, 3, and 4. The best part about data and the best part about the TA that we do is it's not a linear chart. For those of you that don't understand linear and log, logarithmic charting is what I do. Logarithmic is something that you don't need a TA degree for. You literally don't have to come in here and say, I understand markets better than you. That's not how logs work. The logarithmic charting on this tells you on a larger time frame with applied mathematics. That's the difference. When you're looking at, and I can give you a great example of this. Let's go ahead and look at this on the monthly. This is on a log chart. If this were linear, just so that we're clear, a lot of people look at stocks on a linear chart. This is what the triangle would look like. And I know it's not doing it justice, but as I go back and I go forth, do you see the error from the top and the bottom, how they're not the same? This is because all of these boxes are in these $15 increments. And $15 increments is not possible because to start at 0 to 15, then to go to 30, that's a 100% increase. But when you get to 45, it's not an additional 100% from 30 to 45. It's only 50%. As you get higher, the percentages get compressed, meaning you take into consideration applied mathematics. The better way to do that math would be fives. You go from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25. Just because you went from 5 to 25 does not mean that it was a 500% increase on these terms. What it means is you went up from 5 to 10, there's 100%. But from 10 to 15 is not another 100%. It's only 50. From 15 to 20 is not a 50%. It's just 1/4 of what it was. And it keeps going on. That's applied mathematics. That's why logarithmic charting matters more so than linear charts. Linear charts will leave you looking like this, where you don't know where the Dorito starts and ends, and it looks terrible. It looks like a sailboat. And this is why individuals like Ant Trades and other guys like Data Zero and Tony De Niro or anybody else that wants to look at charts will always have them wrong because they don't understand that we are living this moment. We are living this stock. And logarithmic charting is the only one that will actually compute what the differences are. They're not equally measured. That's why we can make the assumptions that we're making based off of mathematics. This is a mathematical certainty. That's why it lines up the way it does right here. This makes sense in all ends, where you have your support, you have your retest, you have your push down. This is exactly what you want. This is a locked-in spring to jump out of the zone, and people take it for granted. People don't understand that the patience will pay off over. You waited 6 years. You're going to be able to ride this out for the next 60. And that's the point when you get to the plateau and the levels you need to. I said we're going to head this way up to this plateau way up here. Guys, if we ever get to this plateau, if we ever make it where we're supposed to, and you get true valuation for your stock, and the multiples matter, and every measurable is given fair value, you would see GameStop / a combination of being a holding company, holding eBay, doing everything new in e-commerce, live commerce, everything they're going to do with Power Packs and Ryan Cohen and capital allocation and just share innovation. They're not just standing still. They're not just selling shit. They're not, you know what? The biggest thing I ever saw was the innovation that I saw at Costco. Guys, I was with Costco for a decade and a half, right? And I want to tell you what I learned there or what I saw there. I saw a company that builds and works off of minimal margins. And you were saying to yourself, how the hell do we survive? And 8% of our revenue and our profits were coming from membership fees. That's it. There was nothing else happening but membership fees. And now they've dabbled on to be a little bit more better because they're selling the private label is the push. The private, you learn you can create margins with private label. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond tried that. Bed Bath & Beyond goes, oh, we're going to make our own private label, and we're going to do some certain thing. And guess what? Tank, ground, gone. GameStop could sit here and do video games and bitch about this Sony partnership. It's 18% of their actual revenue. They could sit here and not dive into Pokemon cards, the biggest trend in the world, and they would make no money. Costco got into, they're going to have standalone gas stations. People don't know this. It's highly confidential, but hey, I'm not with them anymore. I didn't sign anything. They're also doing apartment buildings on top of their actual Costco's. This is all coming up within the next 10 years. So there's innovation. There's thinking outside the box. There's so much other things they're going to do. Good for them. Well, so are we. We're so different. We're so outside the box being GameStop. And we're not these other failed companies that just stuck with the categories that mattered, or they thought that mattered to them. I love that GameStop does PSA graded cards, and that they're doing collectibles at a high level like they're doing today. They're not reliant on this video game crying. Every video that I've seen, and trust me, I've seen them all because they get sent to me every day, trying to tell me that we need to fight back and that does not matter. What PlayStation does, what Xbox does, that has no impact on GameStop's profit and the direction of their company and where they're headed. That's just noise. That's just people living in the past when GameStop's already transitioned and moving past that. If GameStop was barely starting today to transfer and go the collectibles route and PSA and Pokemon, you would be like, oh, they're late to the party, or oh, they're reacting to the news from Sony and Xbox. No. We prepared for that to happen. That's the difference. When you prepare for all outcomes, you're going to survive. You're going to do well. You know what happens in this world? I was just thinking about this today, that the number one franchise in the world, in the history of the world, is Pokemon. Dollar for dollar. They do about $200 billion in sales, period. Through merchandise and cards and everything, all apparel, $200 billion to $300 billion a year. Smashes all other industries or whatever they are, all under categories like this, like Star Wars, Disney, Hello Kitty. I don't care who they are, Marvel, doesn't matter. Add them all up. They still don't get the Pokemon. But can you believe it that GameStop found a way to funnel all of that money from that product and that brand and that enterprise to themselves? They found a way to be the category killers for that category. That you got to give them credit for. Why are people not talking about it? You know why? Because they don't publish it. They don't ask for the print. They're not trying to prove themselves to this world. No, they let their numbers talk. And if the numbers can't do the talking and the explanation, it's okay. We'll put cash behind it. We'll put money behind it. Because the biggest benefactors of GameStop's success is going to be GameStop. It's going to be investors that are in GameStop. Just because the press hasn't figured it out doesn't mean that it's true or not. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. And guess what's not absent? Profits. Guess what's not absent? Change. Guess what's not absent? Culture. Guess what's not absent? You. You're here every day. You buy shares every day. I saw the damn Discord today. People were buying shares left and right. $21? $21.70? Give me more of that. I want more of that every day of the year. How low can it go? Keep us there. Then you'll understand why people want to loan us $4.5 billion at 0% interest. And why they want to put $20 billion. How in the hell can the world just say, GameStop has a highly confident letter from TD Securities for $20 billion? Double the value of the current company. And you're going to tell me GameStop's only worth $9.8 billion today? That's what they got in cash and failed coupons. I don't know. Empty video game boxes coming up. Got to be kidding me, man. You can buy GameStop for cash. Whatever it is, cash. That's amazing. Give me that. They found a way to harness Pokemon and cash in on the largest thing out there, period. The largest franchise in the history of retail. And people go, oh, it's just a fad. It's 200 billion real dollars. It's not AI dollars, not semiconductor dollars, not data center dollars, not commitments, dollars. No, it's Beanie Babies. It's Chia Pets. It's Pogs. Nah, you're all full of shit. You wish it wasn't what it is. We're walking around with Mickey Mantle rookie cards in our pocket. On our website. Check the site. We did that. Ryan did that. And I say we collectively because we've been here for 5.5 years, 6 years on some, 20 years on one. I don't care how long you've been here, guys. It takes a different mindset. Like Larry said last night, it takes a different mindset to invest and know that the world is wrong and you are right. And you just got to wait it out and you just got to see it through. But unless you think that way, you're never going to win. Okay. I'll be stupid. I'll be deaf, dumb, and blind until I'm not. I don't care. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care what the time is, the energy. I can't get this back. I don't get these last 5 years back from YouTube. You guys saw it? I almost have 1 million hours viewed. Thousands and thousands of hours and my life. I'll never get it back. And I could just invest in GameStop. I could just invest and not make a video and not educate myself or anyone else around me. I could just invest because I believe in it that much and keep it to myself. But when I see an old lady getting robbed, I go save her. When I see kids getting attacked and threatened, I go there and I punch the bully in the face. So when I see people getting swindled and and teased and lied to and tricked and manipulated on investments, I come to the calling. You can call me Batman, you can call me Robin, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm going to show up. This whole I'm buying 2 stock shit, no, we're buying 1. We're an international show. Some would think that we would have millions of viewers watching this show. But there's not a million people on this planet that have the wherewithal like you to hold this when everyone tells you not to see other people make it and be successful in the markets and be rich and brag about the gains that they have, yet show no receipts, or talk about education and finance and they want to tell you, they want to give you advice. And then you say, well, why aren't you taking your own advice? Something I learned a long time ago about sports betting or listening to people's advice. And you go, why are they selling it? What the hell are they doing? Why aren't they successful? Aren't they making money off the investment? Off the bet itself? Why do they have to sell me the top 10 winners? Why don't they just make the bet on the wins they say are going to win, and they take their earnings and they go and then they do it again if they're so perfect, they got it so right. Oh, hi. I'm telling you, I like GameStop. And I'm not asking you to invest in me. I'm telling you, I'm investing in you. Energy, time, effort, and money into the stock. When I make it, you make it. When you make it, I make it. Or some of you are going to jump off and say it's not for you, or I can't do this anymore. It's always tomorrow. And that bullshit's got to go, bros. It is always tomorrow. Because tomorrow's going to come. With or without you. That's why. That's why I value it so much, because, like I said, life is long. It's not short. But time is infinite. And time keeps going the minute you hit the floor. It still keeps going. I miss Grandma Nina all the time. She crosses my mind all the time. Because she believed in me. She believed in GameStop. And, like most grandmothers would, she says, hey, Mijo, you got it. Sounds good. Yeah. Ryan's dad, Ted Cohen. Come and gone, but his lessons and the impact he had on Ryan, still there. Hard work. Roll up his sleeves. Sweat it out. Thug it out. I know, Ryan. I work just as hard. I promise you. Enjoy this investment, guys. They're coming up with ways to create FUD on it, and that's fine. They're trying to break it down and trying to get you off of it now with scare tactics of dilution. But we were brought up different. Nothing scares us. We've lived through the worst of times. And at the end of the worst of times, it's awesome when you find out it was all just bullshit. 9/11, COVID, Charlie Kirk, and the FUD against GameStop. It's pretty awesome. You know, I was a very young man when I was overseas at the last World Cup. The World Cup was 2002. It was split between Japan and Korea, and we were doing what was it? It was called like a we were with the bomb team, like where you have to have like the mirrors and check the vehicles underneath, looking for bombs on vehicles. It was 2002 at the time, and I was at Camp Walker in Daegu, South Korea, and there was a game, Daegu Stadium, and I was security at the gates, and they were like, "Hey, we got to search every vehicle that comes on and know, all the good stuff because we're trying to protect everyone overseas. We're trying to do our best." And I learned that at that time that if you radicalize the troops, if you radicalize people with false narratives and misleading headlines and fear, well, then people adapt and they act different or they carry themselves differently. And I realized that the World Cup kind of shut that all down at that time. The World Cup brought so many people together from different cultures and backgrounds just to enjoy a sporting event. It was actually pretty cool. That's when my world changed because I realized that we're all on the same team. We're all on this floating rock in the universe, spinning at, the fastest rate possible. But we're all just trying to live, enjoy a good evening and a good meal, listen to some good music, and enjoy your day. It was very simplistic. It was almost it was life altering for me, the World Cup. And ever since then I've thought about that tenfold. I've thought about like how certain countries are cheering on their teams and their teams are winning and they're doing their best. I was going for Egypt the other day. Like I've never gone for Egypt. Like I just because I realized that they probably deserve to be there in that moment. They could be heroes in their country forever. Messi's already a world-class hero for the rest of his life. There could be somebody new for a new countryman, for a new environment, new thing. No, they try to destroy people with headlines and video and clips. And I try to get back to the core root of everything. This is how I think about Ryan Cohen. This is how I think about GameStop. This is how I think about YouTube, think about Reddit, Twitter. I understand that people are disguising themselves and they're lying and they're waiting and they're lurking in the dark and they're waiting for their opportunity because their mindset is not mine. So I'm very cautious of who I surround myself with, of who I put into our realm. And these are the conversations we have every night. People would rather talk fundamentals and projections and where we're going to be and what you're going to do in the stock and all. Guys, I can talk numbers till I'm dead. The problem is I already did. I've done so much due diligence on GameStop when it comes to fundamentals and valuation. It's all up here in my brain somewhere. It's easy. Like it's there. I'm ready for the next quarter, the next quarter, the next quarter, the next quarter. What I talk to you guys about is psychology, is mindset, because investing has nothing to do with the outcome and the valuations and your balance sheet. There's nothing to do with that. Investing has everything to do with mindset, attitude, that positive reinforcement that it takes every day to wake up and say, we got this. That's what it takes to invest in the GameStop. Doesn't take money. It doesn't take risk compensation. It doesn't take, to watch the ebb and flow and where's this chart going to lead. That shit's fleeting. You will all lose. I would love for GameStop to go down to $9 a share right now. Hit rock bottom. I would love to see it. It could never happen. GameStop has insulated their moat, their float, their boat. They've done it all. But we are where we are. We're at the bottom. This is our $10. This is a new plateau to take off from. Matter of fact, this is 100% higher than the last bottom. Applied mathematics. What happens when we take off from this floor right now? From 21 to what? We did an 8x move last time we moved. 8x from here puts you somewhere at around 160. Fair market, right? Guys, 180 a share is around $80 billion. Fair market. Get ready. Enjoy. I'm going to get going because I have things to do tonight. I got to play World of Warcraft with my son. He called me today and said, yo, Pops, can I play World of Warcraft with you? I said, yes, son, you can. It's just an ordinary day to play some World of Warcraft. Shout out to Vanessa Carlton. She has the greatest songs of all time. You guys know her songs like 1,000 Miles. But I liked her other songs when I was coming up. Reminds me of Korea. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I'm going to see you around, millionaires. I'm going to see you very soon.